This program was pre-recorded.
You've entered the Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher, political analyst and socio-political prophet, and Kevin Gallagher, TV and podcast host, and opinionated jackhole. So settle in, grab a beverage. It's time to talk some politics. It's Fletch Nation. Now here are the boys.
Hey, welcome into the month of May and another edition of Fletch Nation here, coming to you from Baton Rouge, Louisiana at the old school barbecue smokehouse here on Coursey Boulevard. In Baton Rouge.
Real barbecue.
It's real.
Real.
It's legit.
Legit. Too legit to quit.
As for the brisket baked beans.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, the sausage too.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, been a week, huh?
It's been a very odd week. Of course, I've been watching national and international politics, but then, of course, we're in the middle of this legislative session, so I've been paying a lot of attention to what's going on up there.
Good. I'm glad somebody is.
Yeah, some of it's legit, and some of it's just yeah.
So illegit. Why don't y'all quit?
Well, the one question I interview some of these lawmakers from time to time, and I don't want to be impertinent because when you're a reporter, you want continued access. You don't want to.
Right.
You don't want to upset.
Well,
I remember one time I upset.
That's the relationship.
I upset the head of the Senate Insurance Committee one time, and I never ever got 2 minutes with that man ever again. So you got to be careful. But the one question I always want to ask him during a fiscal-only session. Fiscal only is the shorter session. It's supposed to be all about money and just money. Money matters. But each lawmaker is allowed to file 5 non-fiscal bills.
Yeah.
And sometimes these bills come up, and what I want to ask them is, you only get 5 this year. Is this one of the ones you want to file?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Kind of weird, huh? So I do notice that they're very interested in fiscal matters with the pay raise for themselves. But
very interested in that pay raise.
They hadn't gotten a pay raise since 1980. That's what the peddling out there. I know, but could we look at the other emoluments?
Well, there's per diem.
Yeah. That's gone up some.
Per diem has gone up. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $152 a day.
Yeah, and how much can you work that?
Each lawmaker gets $500 a month. It's just discretionary expenditures. You don't have to show receipts. Yeah. You get $500 a month, and you can spend that on
whatever you want.
Hookers and Coke if you want to. I mean,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I mean soda pop and fish hooks.
Yeah. Well, okay, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Roy.
But anyway, so. There's a couple of bills that in there that I noticed the front page of the paper this morning. The colleges and university administrators are real upset with some of the bills because particularly, I believe, Senator Jay Morris's bill on diversity and the standards for admission.
Diversity, inclusion, and equity.
Yes, and kind of got the liberals all in a tizzy over this, and you know what? Senator Morris is making a point that when you have objective criteria for admission, and you don't use subjective criteria for admission, then it makes more sense to use objective criteria like test scores and grades and those kinds of things versus whatever social justice program you're trying to operate.
Well, and I think that is especially so when one is talking about a publicly funded university.
I agree with you 100%.
A private university, do whatever you want. But
this is everybody's money. So and merit seems to me to have been lost in the midst of this great awakening, okay, whatever the hell it is, and so Morris's position is, let's get back to objective criteria and merit, and whoever merits and whatever. And
isn't that what universities are supposed to be, where the best and the brightest go?
And by the way, there are universities around the country now reverting to that. Texas A&M is one. There's a couple of Ivy League schools that have reverted to that. This is becoming a trend around the country. Is that, wait a minute, all of this social justice warrior stuff is not working. Let's get back to some objective stuff here, where we can where we train people that are very high merit and educate them. And I think that's a fair way to look at things.
Mm-hmm.
But to an extent,
that's going to be long debate on that bill.
I think it will be, and you know what? I think it's a debate worth having. I think that's a fair debate. I know people's positions on each side. I just kind of told you mine, but positions on each side. There are merit to. There is arguments for the diversity and all of that. There's a fair argument for that, but I think that that argument needs to be made in the marketplace of ideas, and not dictated by college and university administrators on people that are paying the bill.
Well,
that's what's happened, right?
The administrators that you just mentioned, they don't want there to be a debate about it at all.
I know, because that takes power away from them.
Yeah, and it's simply, this is how it must be.
Yes, and after all, we are the university administrator. Well, there's too many of you, and you're dictating to people in a way that who are paying the bills that often didn't even go to college. Okay? Mm-hmm. All they're trying to do is get their kids or their grandchildren educated, and to get them into the best schools that they can get. So I think it's a fair argument to have.
But of course, Mr. Morris's bill, failure to comply with what his bill would put into state law would mean what? Loss of funding, right?
Yep. To some extent.
That scares the hell out of them when you start talking about possible threats to
their
funding.
That means that less administrators can be hired. Okay?
Yeah.
And power.
I need 5 assistants in my office. Not 3.
Not 3.
5.
I got a lot to do. So anyway, that's that. I mean, this week was a good week for me personally, and for.
Are we allowed to talk about that? Or?
Yeah, I guess so. Louise Hines Myers, I handled her campaign for criminal judge here in Baton Rouge, a criminal judge, district court, and she won. And she came from literally nowhere. Jordan Faircloth had lost last time for judge by 2 votes.
But his campaign was formidable.
And it was like a shoe-in, and here comes this young lady at 39 years old, a prosecutor in the DA's office, and she put it together, and I got to tell you, she was a great candidate. She's a terrific candidate. I think she's going to be a terrific judge. Is she going to be the kind of judge, and I know what you're going to say, but I don't expect you to insult her or anything, but East Baton Rouge Parish needs a different kind of judge. I think I have a sense of this young woman that is absolutely that way. And I'll tell you what I do know about her. She has a work ethic. It's second to none. And I think that the DA and everybody was worried about getting these cases heard and getting that cleared out there. I think she's exactly the person for that job.
Well, congratulations to you on helping her get across the finish line.
It was a good win. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Going to take a break. Be back in 3 minutes with more Fletch Nation.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
You could be driving.
Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Back once again with Fletch Nation. Thank you so much for spending some time with us once again this week as we plunge into the month of May.
Well, we got a lot to cover, Kevin, and but before we go cover it, we were looking on TV during the break, and we saw that they're after Tucker Carlson.
Yep, wasn't enough the guy lost his job.
No, we're going to destroy him now because we have to cancel it. Because you see, Tucker can make far more money. He's already been offered $100 million for 5 years, plus chairman of the board of Venture
Valuetainment.
Valuetainment. That's right. Yeah. And so the effort is now, let's destroy him. Let's make him less valuable, etc. And I think the press focus has been on why did Tucker get fired, and the emails that he had between management, and he talked ugly about management, and he had a little cocky attitude that he was going to do what he wanted to do. And so, they're trying to make it where Tucker's look like he's crazy. Well, that's clearly what.
Roy, that's the kind of attitude any cash cow at a broadcast network might develop.
Could, especially when you're the leader in the market share.
Yeah. I mean, he
across all of cable.
He was their
across just all Fox. Of cable.
But I mean, he was Fox's number one moneymaker.
Yeah. So he developed that attitude. I can understand that a little cockiness, but so the press is focused, but very few people are focused on, not just who got Tucker, but why did they get Tucker? That's the issue. That to me is far more important. And this explains why they are after him now. This is not a situation of the Democrats trying to get Tucker. This is a situation of the Republicans and the Democrats trying to get Tucker. This is the uniparty, absolutely. And because understand what happened with Tucker. About 3 or 4 years ago, Tucker began to really, really criticize capitalism, the onerous parts of capitalism. And I saw an interview with him this week from years past where they said, well, Tucker, don't you want driverless trucks on the road? He said, big trucks? They said, yeah. He said, absolutely not. I would be opposed to that because you're going to displace 200,000 or 300,000 young men and women that didn't go to college, that are high school graduates, and they make a good living.
And it's
doing
good,
it.
honest work.
And
they pay taxes.
Understand, that was an answer that was not looked upon very well. But he's been very very critical at times of the onerous parts, the tough parts of capitalism. He was also very critical of the Ukraine incursion and the war there, and over a period of time began to change his opinion about the Iraq invasion and so on and so what. And then he had guests on like Robert F. Kennedy that infuriated the pharmaceutical industry. All of that. Glenn Greenwald, who's a socialist, that anti-war. He had a lot of people on his show that was not part of the Republican establishment by any means.
Oh yeah, the right often were frustrated with him because their argument was, why do you even give that person a platform to spout that stuff?
Right. So and Tucker's very committed to the notion of free speech. So what happens is that Tucker built a brand of himself that was an outsider, a populist, an anti-big. Okay, I mean I think that's a fair way to say. And then of course he got the tapes on 106, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, the J6
January
tapes.
6th.
If you've seen them, they're pretty.
Yeah,
they're pretty explosive and blowing the story to hell.
And Schumer got on the floor of the Senate and said, "Take him off." And there were some Republicans screaming, "Get him off!" They were beating up Fox about all of that. The point is that Tucker built a brand, and these people now have decided. Both sides have decided Tucker is dangerous. And they took him out. They got him out of there. But now what they want to do is to keep him from something else.
They won't be able to do that.
They want to try to destroy his value. I don't think they can. But the truth is that they're going to work on him hard. And
they'll come up with something that they think will sufficiently. They'll come up with a Me Too moment, a Bill Cosby type scenario, or Charlie Rose, or whatever.
It's classic. The walls are closing in. You remember Donald Trump? Every week, every day, the walls were closed. We're going to get him this time. That's what they're doing to Tucker. And the truth is that the reason why is because the guy said what he said in a way that infuriated both sides of the ideological polars in the country, and it made Tucker Carlson it made him valuable to Fox, and Fox at some point could not take the heat anymore.
Well, we discussed on last week's show that one of the principal stockholders in Fox News is
BlackRock.
Yeah.
And I don't know how far BlackRock was into this, but they're going to rebuild the Ukraine. Zelensky's already said that, and with whose money? Ours. But the point of it is that Carlson had the courage to take on those kinds of things. Nobody was taking on the pharmaceutical industry. I mean, everybody was, get your vaccines. All the talking heads on. Nobody took them on. Carlson took them on. It wasn't anti-vax. What it was you people set this up in a way to make a bunch of money.
You mentioned Tucker's got a brand, which is something a lot of big talking heads don't really have. They have a name, but they don't have a brand.
They don't have a brand.
Will he be willing to loan that brand, to give that brand over to a valuetainment, or will he seek to platform himself out there in the world?
That depends on Tucker's situation and financially and family and so on and so forth. But he can make a fortune on podcasting.
Look at Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. And I didn't know this. Joe Rogan, I saw a clip of him the other day, and he was asking one of his guys that work for him, how many, we got 18 million subscribers or some such? They said, no, Joe, you got 200 million. He said, how do I have 200 million? It's impossible. Joe, we transcribe it. We have a voice actor in different languages. We send it all over the world. Joe Rogan is international and making a fortune.
He's probably worth $40 or $50 million by now, too.
At least. And Tucker can do the same thing, because Tucker tapped in to a whole populist movement that is, in fact, not just in the United States, it's worldwide. And so that's why they're trying to cancel him. That's what's going on. They're trying to cancel Tucker Carlson.
I predict he will land on his feet.
I do too.
Time for another commercial break. Let's do that. You give us 3 minutes and we'll be back with much more Fletch Nation coming up.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5, named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
And we're back with Fletch Nation. Hey, thanks so much for spending some time with us again this week. Fletch Nation's seen cable systems all over South Louisiana and heard on radio stations all over the state as well. So thanks very much, whether you're listening or watching. So
let's talk about some lies. I never in my life seen a
it's only a 1 hour show. Right?
I've never seen a White House lie so much in my life.
And they're so bad at it. That's what gets me.
So early in the week, I think maybe late last week, what's her name?
Karine Jean-Pierre.
Yeah. She says that, we got the southern border 90%. It's 90% good. It's all 90%.
Please.
Let me see if I can find it. It's all good. It's all good down there. Really? 5 days later, they send 1,500 troops. They're sending 1,500 troops to the southern border. Now, I want to say this much, that when Trump wanted to send troops to the southern border, every Democrat in the world was opposed to it.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Stormtroopers at the southern border.
But we got it 90% under control.
Yeah.
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 By the way, there's it's a creepy crawly coming up from the south, too. They got about 10,000 going to show up down there and run across.
Well, this Title 42 that they put in place for the pandemic, that expires next week.
That's right.
So that means restrictions that had been in place.
So prepare for the invasion. So what do? They send 1,500 troops. A little late, Joe. 2 or 3 million people have come across the border already in your administration, and now you're finally getting why don't you just build the damn wall and let's cease all this stuff? But anyway,
you can't control immigration until you have a controllable border. You've got to have controlled points of entry.
You can't control it. You got to attempt to contain it. It's kind of like Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay? Just say, in the same breath, this woman talks about the gun violence in Texas where this dude killed 5 people. You been reading about that?
Yes.
Well, what they didn't say, and they finally found out, was this guy was an illegal alien and had been transported out of the country 5 times or 4 times, something like that. He had been sent on his way, packing. And
he just kept
coming. Oh, no, it's the gun's fault.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's a stone criminal, apparently, and it's the gun's fault. And it had everything in it. Illegal immigrant, everything. I guess he got the gun illegally.
Well, it's a gun problem.
It's the gun's fault. But anyway, they lie, they obfuscate. It's just
obfuscate is a great word. That's this week's word, I think, because that's
like prescient.
Yep. Obfuscate. They do a lot. They twist words. They twist meanings. I mean,
they do. They do. I mean, Joe Biden gave a speech against the other night at the national press, whatever it is, dinner, national, whatever. Anyway, so his whole speech, a lot of it was about Fox being, I don't like going with it. But he used the word press freedom 10 times while he's arguing against the free press. And these people, all the liberals, were clapping and applauding and just having a big time.
It's a threat to our democracy.
It's a wonderful thing when you can just lie like that and
people eat it with a knife and fork.
Being a Catholic, you're taught there's 2 kinds of sins. There's the sin of omission and the sin of commission. Well, they're big on omission. And in the commission thing, they changed the words, like you say, so that it sounds okay. I'm for the free press, but not for them.
But not when they say stuff that threatens our democracy.
That's exactly right. And everything threatens the democracy. Don't mean to be a jerk. 2 weeks ago, I think I talked about, last week, Republic Bank.
We did.
Yeah, and it was in trouble, and because a huge amount, billions, had rushed out of it into big banks. Because people are scared now of regional banks and local banks. They get nervous as hell about it. And apparently they should be. But the point is, so they put their money into these big banks. Well, so the feds take over Republic on Monday, and guess who gets the bank? J.P. Morgan. Now, you're talking about centralization of financial money, financial power? Here we go. And you're going to see this more and more. And then somebody's going to say at J.P. Morgan or Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo is one.
This come. I can't talk about it. But I owe them a little money.
Gotcha.
But the point of it is that somebody somewhere is going to go, well, gee, feds, let's just, we need to have a social credit score. This guy not spending his money in the right place. He's buying gasoline.
He doesn't
needs to
invest
get an
enough
EV.
in DIE.
Yeah. He's got to get an EV, not a petro car. We can't have this. And when they do that, they're going to be able to reinforce it with what? With the digital currency. And then you're going to have what they have in China. You're going to have a social credit score. And if you post something on Facebook that people that they don't like at JP Morgan, where you have your money, your paycheck money, not a lot. You post something, I like Trump. Oh, no.
Yep.
No. We're going to shut down your account.
Yeah, you do not understand how easy it will be for them to just say, you go log on to the bank and your home computer. Sorry, username and password not recognized.
That's right.
Go to use your ATM debit card. Sorry, this card's no good.
That's right. And
you don't have access to your own money.
To your own money. And if you don't think it can't happen, all you have to do is look what happened in Canada when those truckers up there started all that.
One of the first things they did was cut them off from their own money. They cut their
money off from their own banks, their own bank accounts. They said, no, you can't get money. We're not going to allow you to have your money. It's one thing to tax you to death, which is bad enough, but to seize what is left after they tax you to death, that's a little rough for me, folks.
Yep. Let's not forget that the Democrats, before they lost the House, they wanted to let the FBI look in on any transaction over $600.
And why is this happening? Because the feds keep raising the interest rates. These smaller banks are having problems with that, and the more they raise the interest rates, the more the big banks get the deposits. This is a game. This is a shell game. And so we'll be right back because I just went into conspiracy land.
Yep. Collapse is imminent. Fletch Nation returns.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Hey, come and join us. We'll give you the information and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, We'll give you fun, too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
And Fletch Nation returns once again. Roy Fletcher over here. My name's Kevin Gallagher. Happy to have you with us. So it's been an interesting week. The one thing that we do visit from time to time is what's going on over in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been a lot of activity in the last 7 days, has there?
Well, first, this is kind of the bridge. Gallup came out with a poll this week, and of course they asked their question, you know, what's the major problem with America? What's causing this stuff in America? And they've tracked this question for a long time. I can't repeat exactly what the question is, but anyway, they've tracked it for a long time. And at this time, government heads the list, just like it does often, and it's ahead of crime and inflation and fears of recession, and Ukraine didn't even pop up on it.
Really?
It's interesting. But government is the issue there. It's gone down a little bit in the last 5 years. I think it's a reflection of the president and the administration more than, but people continue to say government is the problem. Now in the Ukraine, apparently there's a big effort to build up the Ukrainian army because now spring is here. It's thawing out, and I think they're about to engage in a new effort to try to take back what they've lost. The Ukrainians to take back what they lost. This is going to be the continuing story for how long? We don't know. But I do know this: we spent more in the Ukraine than we spent in Vietnam.
Wow.
Now that's not lives lost.
It's just money we've pumped into that.
Yeah, we have spent more in the Ukraine than we ever than we spent in Afghanistan in 20 years.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's the kind of...
That's a whole lot of capital unaccounted for.
That's a burn rate, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
that's a whole lot of billions unaccounted for.
And we don't. And where's the audits of the money? They can't pass an audit. I think the House did do something recently, but they can't. The president will veto it, whatever the case. They don't want anybody to know where the money went.
Of course not.
Okay, and now we're back into the. We're going to spend some more. You know it's coming. If we're going to have a surge, as they say, a new effort to try to take the land. Of course, there's going to be more money. Then Zelensky's going to want more money, and yada yada yada, and it's ridiculous, and I don't know what we're getting out of, and I don't
honestly, I don't think that we are getting anything out of this. Unless you're one of those people that just wants to have that national sense of we're the good guys, we stand by the people of Ukraine. But I think all that is bunk. It's BS.
Well, I mean,
the war between Russia and Ukraine is two bad actors going up against each other.
That's what it appears. And of course, what's happened is that China now is asserting itself into an effort to mediate peace, of which, it's kind of interesting.
China is an agent of peace.
Yes, China is an agent of peace, and of course, that implicates Taiwan, all kinds of damn things, and the confusion and the loss of prestige of America in this, and the effort of China to. By the way, get this: Japan has gone on a great effort to provide money to African nations and to forgive debt. Japan. Why? Their president said, look, China is buying Africa. The United States is involved in the Ukraine, and somebody's got to step in here and try to protect, because Japan is trying to protect itself. Because they're going to all end up on the wrong side, folks, if and we're not doing anything. Foreign aid, you can make a case that it doesn't matter anyway. But that's what Japan is seeing. It's important that what they are seeing is a vacuum that America has created. And of course, we got the Sudan now and all of that over there.
How ironic is it that Japan represents Western influence?
Japan
in Africa.
Isn't that amazing? And so we have that, and it's a direct calculation as to, or a direct reaction to what China is doing. So China being the mediator, that's all, that's a game China's playing, and China's playing really hard now because it has moved a number of nations to start to use their currency in transactions. The Saudi Arabians, they're working it really hard, and they're working not there, just there, but they're also working in Latin America to do the same thing.
And Tehran.
Yes, and so we're faced with that kind of situation. So when you say the Ukraine, when we talk about the Ukraine, we have to talk about everything, because the Ukraine situation that we tied down in is affecting our ability to do anything in other places, and to meet sort of this challenge that China has presented us. And China will not back down on this. They're going to continue proceeding forward. And the question is, it keeps popping up, is, so when is Taiwan going down? And
that was going to be my question for you.
Yeah, if China can do what it needs to do, why does China want to even deal with Taiwan, as long as what they're doing is keeping Taiwan in a place anyway?
Well, I could make a guess.
Yeah?
Multi-billion-dollar computer chip industry in Taiwan.
That's correct.
Like hundreds of billions of dollars.
Like hundreds of billions of dollars. And that would be what they would want to possess. But on the other hand, they can possess that in other ways, like stealing intellectual So,
yeah, but nothing is going to be quite so effective as just coming in and taking it.
No, that's true, unless somebody blows it all
sure,
up.
you could do industrial espionage and create your own designs based on theirs, blah, blah, blah.
But that takes time.
Yeah, it's just easier to go in there and take it.
Well, yeah, except, you could face, repercussions. So, but they're doing what they want to do without doing the big thing. We'll be right back.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good. but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With private healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
All right, one last time around on Fletch Nation before we wrap things up for the week. And we appreciate you being part of the program this week. So, well, an eventful week.
So I got it. I don't know if you've seen it, but I'll make a general point first. The presence of John Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, on social media is growing rapidly. There are people that are taking his speeches and then having reactions. People, you know how they do on Facebook. And we're
not talking local bloggers.
No. This is all over the
national
country.
attention.
This is all over the country. I mean, 30,000 likes and that sort of thing. But yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, when they were considering, quote, the ethics bill for the Supreme Court because Clarence Thomas, went on vacation with somebody, and it's a big hoorah. But Kennedy made a statement in the Senate Judiciary Committee that got on social media. That is a very powerful statement when you listen to it. And the statement was, guys, I don't agree with all the opinions that have been issued by the Supreme Court through the years. There are things that I disagree with vehemently. But I never said, let's attack this court and let's attempt to take it down and let's attempt to expand it so you can change the ideological nature of the court. We never did that. we never did that. I never did that. But I'm afraid that what we have in this room today, and everybody in this room knows it, we know it up here, you know it, all of us know it, that what's going on here is an effort to destroy the Supreme Court. Because you don't like the opinions they're issuing. You don't agree with them with respect. So instead of taking the agreement and disagreeing, what you're doing is attempting to destroy an institution that is fundamental to our nation. That was his whole point. He was extremely, extremely eloquent about it. And it wasn't the John Kennedy of sort of, you know, the country John.
The foghorn leghorn John Kennedy.
No, it was a very astute John Kennedy, which is what he is, because understand, he was a top graduate of UVA Law School, University of Virginia, and then he went to Oxford and studied some over there.
He is a straight-up constitutional scholar.
Yeah, he is a very, very bright man. And he taught at LSU Law School as an adjunct. But the point is that what he was making, this point, he was extremely eloquent. And I was watching this video of him, and I said, you know, and I've been noticing his social media press. I said, you know, this guy, Kennedy, would make one hell of a candidate for President of the United States. And I think he's going to have a serious role in these next elections all over the country. He would make, now, Trump's running, so he can't, but let's just assume for a moment that Trump don't run. Let's just kind of play a game. Now,
I don't think that's beyond the realm of possibilities.
Maybe
just
not.
Because he says so now, we're still a year and a half out.
Always a year, that's, so the notion is Ron DeSantis is running. And so I have a question for that too, which is, why do you want to watch a cover band when the real band still plays? Ron, okay? There's no need for a cover band right now. But the fact is that let's say Trump doesn't run and Ron DeSantis does. I must tell you, I think John Kennedy is literally a better candidate for President of the United States and could literally beat Ron DeSantis if he ran. Because John Kennedy has it's become quite obvious to me, he has a very, very, very strong national political base that he's operating from. The speech at C-SPAN, where he's talking about, the truth is being replayed all over the place on social media. And when you look at the number of likes, there are literally 20,000 to 50,000 likes on the stuff. He's being viewed, he is listened to, and people like not only his sort of cornpone-ness in some ways, but they like the fact that he's very direct about what he's saying about certain things.
Video of him in committees and like confirmation hearings and things like that, they're gold all over YouTube.
They are gold all over the internet. And so, I mean, he's the big daddy in Louisiana. He's already proven that. But I think that he has a real national potential. He's 72, and so his time is running out. But on the other hand, he's a young-looking 72.
I was going to say he's a very youthful 72.
72, very youthful-looking, and his mind is crisp as it can be. And I just got to thinking about it, and I said, now let's say Trump ran and Trump won. Well, we know he's not going to pick Ron DeSantis for vice president because that's too deep.
Kennedy would make an excellent running mate.
That's what I'm getting to. He would be tremendous for that ticket, and he would be a guy that could go 4 years later and be president for 4 years.
However, I don't think that Kennedy should join a DeSantis ticket as a running mate. I think that Kennedy has enough oomph to stand on his own.
Yeah, I do too. And I think that would be, if Trump decided not to run, that would be the challenge for him, is that well, do I let DeSantis go ahead, or do I get in this race? And that would be a real question for him. And of course that has a lot of personal things to it that I can't solve or anything. But let's assume they could be solved in a legitimate way. He would be an enormously popular candidate.
You know, Roy, that if he hasn't pondered these thoughts himself, others have brought it up to him. I mean, someone seriously has to have gotten up next to Mr. Kennedy and said, President of the United States, my friend, you need to think about it.
Well, I don't know, but I will say this much, that anybody around him would literally have to think this way to some extent. I don't know if they have. Nobody. I mean, he's never mentioned anything like that. But the truth is that he would be. The truth is, to quote Kennedy, the truth is that he would be one hell of a candidate. Mm-hmm. And so I got thinking about it, and it's like, I want to talk about that a little bit.
Liberals can't stand him, of course, but they're because they know they're not supposed to.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly. They are not supposed to stand.
I mean, I've talked to people. So, well, what is it about Senator Kennedy you don't like? They can't articulate that. They just know they're not supposed to like him.
That's right.
He's one of the most likable politicians in Louisiana history.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really a decent guy, and I like him very much personally. I like him very much. I think the world of John, and but I never saw him in this light until the last few months. I started looking, and the more I looked, I was like, this guy really has something that people. To change the subject, but not the name. We go to
Robert F. Kennedy.
Robert F. Kennedy in the Democratic. Robert F. Kennedy this week said, no. We shouldn't have men competing in women's sports. Really, he's a Democrat, and he said that. That's very tough.
That's heretical.
That's heretical in the Democratic Party, and the more that I've talked to some people about it, and I said, you ought to look at this guy. And one of the persons real close to me said, okay. They looked at him and said, I like him a lot. Mm-hmm. He's a little more liberal than I am, but I like what he's about.
Before we wrap up the show, there's a Robert F. Kennedy quote that I wanted to throw out there because I just saw it yesterday and I thought, my God, that's so correct. Throughout history, whoever wanted to control the message or censor it was never, ever the good guys.
Never.
Think about that.
Yeah, and that's what his candidacy represents. Not just a challenge to Joe Biden, but a challenge to his censorship and corporatism. And it's really a strong argument. Next week, folks, we'll be back.
Till then, God bless. Take care.
To Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher and Kevin Gallagher. Remember, if you heard something that ticked you off, upset your sensibilities, or threatened your precious safe space,
the opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are purely their own and do not reflect those of this radio station or its advertisers.
So if you're calling a lawyer, planning a boycott, or a cancel campaign, forget about it and join us next week for more Fletch Nation.